Portugal just put on a 5-0 masterclass against Uzbekistan.
Off goes Cancelo, delivering the cross! Ronaldo!
A demolition so complete, the scoreline barely captured what actually happened on that pitch.
Oh, here's Semedo. Ronaldo's in the middle, it didn't get there. Leao's coming up to it, and there is goal number 5.
And the timing couldn't have been more perfect, because just days earlier, after a disappointing performance against DR Congo, the football world had already made up its mind. Ronaldo was finished.
Like I said, everyone was absolutely slamming him, going, he's done, he's finished. And
Roberto Martínez had lost the dressing room. Portugal were overrated. Their World Cup dream was already collapsing. Then, they walked onto the pitch against Uzbekistan and completely destroyed them. 5 goals. Total demolition. A historic Ronaldo performance.
But came back yesterday, they played against Uzbekistan, scored 2 goals, Marty. Yeah. Good performance and a reaction from a 41-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo.
A midfield that looked untouchable, and a version of Portugal that suddenly felt far more dangerous than anyone expected. But here's the scary part, the 5-0 scoreline wasn't the biggest story, because what Portugal became in this match could completely change the balance of the entire World Cup. The World Cup has a funny way of overreacting. One bad performance and you're finished. One missed chance and you're washed. One disappointing result and suddenly, the football world decides your story is over before the group stage even has a chance to breathe.
I love Thierry Henry, but he went on TV and he said Ronaldo makes bad movements and he doesn't make movements of number 9s.
That was the atmosphere surrounding Portugal after the DR Congo match. The criticism didn't trickle in slowly, it arrived all at once. Ronaldo was too old to contribute at this level. Martinez was tactically clueless, unable to get the best from one of the most talented squads in the tournament.
And now the media is going to sell you this narrative that Portugal would win the World Cup if Ronaldo didn't play. Hey, if Ronaldo didn't play, Portugal would be favorites. Portugal's going to waste a generational midfield. Portugal's going to waste these generational kids, the generational kids that pass side to side.
The midfield looked disconnected, all possession, no purpose. And the attack, toothless, passive, directionless. But the sharpest weapon the media found wasn't the tactics, it was a number 10. 10 consecutive major tournament matches across World Cups and European Championships without a single Ronaldo goal. Pundits repeated that stat daily. Some used it as analysis, most used it as a verdict. By the time Portugal were preparing for Uzbekistan, the narrative had already been written, filed, and published. Ronaldo's tournament was over before it started. What that criticism ignored was the actual stakes sitting inside the Portugal camp. This wasn't a comfortable group stage fixture in anyone's mind. Drop points here, and the Colombia decider becomes a crisis match. Lose that, and Portugal risk crashing out before the knockout rounds begin. The squad understood the pressure. Martinez understood it. Every player who pulled on that shirt against Uzbekistan understood exactly what the next 90 minutes meant. So when people ask why Portugal came out so differently against Uzbekistan compared to the Congo match, the answer isn't complicated.
But also they needed to win, right? A lot of pressure, a lot of scrutiny on Ronaldo, on the manager, and the team as a whole. So
great teams don't respond well to being underestimated. They respond catastrophically for whoever is standing in front of them.
Portugal played a lot quicker. They made a couple of changes. Their passing was quicker. It was much more forward thinking. They utilised the space a lot more. So they were 100 times better than against DR Congo.
Portugal had absorbed a full week of doubt, disrespect and dismissal from every corner of the football world. Uzbekistan had no idea what was about to walk through that tunnel. From the first whistle, something felt different. Not just the result, the intent. Against DR Congo, the ball shifted left to right, going nowhere. Against Uzbekistan, it moved forward. Every touch had a destination, every run had a purpose. The fullbacks pushed higher, the pressing started earlier, and every single player on that pitch attacked with the kind of hunger you can't manufacture in training, the kind that only comes from a squad that has something to prove. Ronaldo's first goal arrived early, and it looked simple enough on the replay, but simple is exactly what makes it dangerous to defend. He moved toward the defender, faked inside, instead cut back the other way and created just enough separation to reach the cross before anyone could close him down. Joao Cancelo's delivery was perfect. Ronaldo's near-post finish was hit with such force, the goalkeeper had no time to react.
Cancelo delivering the cross! Ronaldo!
Joao Cancelo on the right-hand side crosses the ball. Ronaldo, great movement. He did his vintage Ronaldo movement where he fakes going inside, goes, cuts a little bit back. Vintage Ronaldo finish. And Ronaldo gets his goal.
That is vintage number 9 football. No extra touches, no showboating, just elite positioning combined with ruthless execution. The kind that takes decades to develop and never fully disappears, regardless of age. Then came the free kick. Portugal won it just outside the box, and the entire Uzbekistan defensive unit locked their eyes on one player. Every camera in the stadium pointed at one player. The goalkeeper started setting his wall for one player. Ronaldo stood over the ball, arms folded, projecting the exact aura that 41 years of elite football builds around a person.
Here's me thinking, you know what, Ronaldo's going to take it. Because Ronaldo was standing and the camera was pointed towards him and everyone had their phones out and everyone had that moment and everyone, me, you, the fans, Uzbekistan, everyone thought Ronaldo's going to take it. Except for the fact I think it was a training ground. I think it was a great way for them to fake everyone because even the goalkeeper.
And then Nuno Mendes stepped forward and drove it into the net, while the goalkeeper was still waiting for something else entirely.
I love what he did on the free kick. Yes, he surprised everybody. That's a team spirit guy. That's how you lead your team and you share.
The defense wasn't just beaten, it was embarrassed. And that moment captured something important about this Portugal squad that the DR Congo performance had buried. They are no longer predictable. Opponents can no longer build their entire defensive plan around one name. The free kick wasn't luck. Portugal had practiced those routines, and Ronaldo understood his role in it, not as the taker, but as the distraction. That is a player whose ego has made room for the team. Mendes was everywhere after that. Down the left flank, he completed progressive carries that consistently put Uzbekistan's defense on the back foot. His key passes created dangerous situations that stretched the shape. Defensively, he won crucial duels, recovered the ball when Portugal lost it, and completely locked down his flank, so Uzbekistan had no outlet on that side. On another night, Mendes walks away with man of the match, without a debate. But Ronaldo's brace and the record that came with it meant the award went elsewhere. Arguably still Mendes' best performance in a Portugal shirt, and he's still getting better. The midfield told a completely different story from the Congo match as well. Bruno Fernandes had 90+ touches and played nearly every one of them forward. Against Congo, he drifted. Against Uzbekistan, he drove. His passing repeatedly found pockets behind Uzbekistan's midfield line, forcing them to defend deeper and deeper, which created the exact spaces Ronaldo needed to operate.
That's where you're going to get the best out of Bruno. Bruno is a transition creator. Yes, he can create in against set defenses, for sure. Bruno is one of the best chance creators in the game, but his specialty is finding runners. And if Cristiano Ronaldo can continue providing those runs, I think Bruno's going to collect more assists. I thought Bruno was much better today than he was in the first game.
When Bruno plays with that kind of directness, the entire team shifts into a different gear. Faster, sharper, more clinical.
So there was lots to like about Portugal today, but Bruno Fernandes, getting him in that number 10 role, getting him on the ball more, because he was a bit like Ronaldo. He was invisible against DR Congo. And all these sort of flair players and playmakers, they were sort of strutting their stuff today, and that'll take a little bit of pressure, or a lot of pressure, off the Portugal manager.
Vitinha and João Neves worked quietly behind him, winning second balls, recycling possession at speed, and cutting off Uzbekistan's every attempt to transition. The midfield that spent the week being questioned had now become Portugal's foundation. The platform everything else was built on. Ronaldo's second goal was the result of it all clicking at once. Bruno controlled possession, found the run, and played the ball into space perfectly. Ronaldo's timing was perfect. He adjusted his run, stayed on side, and rolled the finish past the goalkeeper without breaking stride.
But the second one, I think, was a goal that I didn't really see him scoring many this World Cup, and that was Bruno Fernandes receiving the ball, looking up, carrying it a little bit, and then playing the ball into space for Ronaldo to run into. That's not something that at 41 years old in this World Cup, I was expecting Ronaldo to still be able to do, right?
He became the first footballer in history to score in 6 different World Cups, 6 tournaments, 6 generations of defenders, 1 player, still doing it.
Cristiano Ronaldo scored twice, like I said. He's become the first ever player to score in 6 different World Cups. Took him to 10 goals, moving past Eusebio as Portugal's all-time leading World Cup scorer. You know that would have been in his mind. He wanted to be... he's always got these targets and...
Here's what the rest of this tournament needs to understand about Portugal. They don't need Ronaldo to be the player who carried Real Madrid to Champions League titles. They need a finisher who punishes good service, leads the press, and makes the box a dangerous place to defend.
If he's not getting the service he needs, but he distracts players. Players know they have to mark him or he will score. So he leaves other people open and give them the opportunity to get a goal.
Against Uzbekistan, that version of Ronaldo showed up completely. And yet, Portugal still left goals on the pitch. Ronaldo came within inches of a hat-trick on the last 3 separate occasions. Chances disappeared across the attack. The 5-0 final score actually flattered Uzbekistan. The damage could have been significantly worse on a different day. Martinez also deserves credit for tactical decisions that didn't get enough attention. Starting Joao Felix over Bernardo Silva changed the dynamic in a way that unlocked Ronaldo specifically. Felix doesn't stay wide. He cuts inside, makes runs into the box, and drags defenders away from Ronaldo's operating zones.
Guys didn't perform last week, so what does he do? He puts in João Felix, who's very good connections with Cristiano Ronaldo because they play together on the same team. And today, you saw that connection come together well. There was many opportunities for Ronaldo to score more goals.
That movement is exactly what freed up the space Ronaldo needed for both goals. And when the match was already won at 4-0, Martinez kept sending attackers on. No sitting back, no protecting the lead. Portugal kept hunting. And that mentality, heading into a decisive group match against Colombia, is not a small detail.
He didn't bring in defenders, he didn't bring in Ruben Neves, he didn't bring in players to stop, he brought in players to score goals.
Goal difference matters, confidence matters, momentum matters. Portugal now have all 3, walking into the most important group game of their tournament. If Ronaldo keeps finding the net, Bruno keeps controlling tempo, Mendes keeps dominating the left, and the midfield pairing of Vitinha and João Neves keeps suffocating opposition transitions. Portugal stop being the team people are debating. They become the team nobody wants to see on the other side of the bracket in a knockout match. One performance doesn't answer every question, but it answered the one that mattered most. This squad is capable of something serious when they play with that level of intensity. Portugal were this dominant against a team they were expected to beat. When that happens, when the stakes climb higher, when the anger gets sharper, when the opposition is actually worth fearing, that question doesn't have a comfortable answer for anyone left in this tournament. Because the most unsettling part of this whole story isn't the 5-0 scoreline, it isn't the tactical shift, or Ronaldo winning man of the match, or even Bruno finally playing like Bruno. It's Ronaldo staring down the camera at full time and saying 2 words: I'm back, after becoming the only footballer alive to score in 6 different World Cups, a record that shouldn't exist. A player who refuses to follow the script everyone else wrote for him, and he looked like he wasn't close to finished.